Have I got a deal for you, mate? How much money have you got?
Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you might be in the world. I just went live then as the laughter was happening because I've just missed what would have been the best content for the whole evening. Various reasons, dear viewer. Ian is in the land of living, which we're very glad to see. We're sorry to miss your live stream on Sunday, but very glad that you're feeling better.
I even live streamed through COVID twice. Yeah, this Sunday I was I can't do it. Can he do it? It was
and he's gone Scottish as well. Look at that.
Yeah, that's a side effect. That is. That's a COVID side effect. Welshman's go Scottish.
Have you been trusted by your premier?
I don't know whatever virus injection or whatever I had is not. I wouldn't swap it for the first batch of COVID I had, but I probably would for the second. It's not particularly nice. I'm not convinced it's not related, but there's all sorts going on.
We'll have none of that sort of talk on here, or YouTube will cancel us.
Yes.
Again.
Let's go full Joe Rogan on him.
Well, this Tuesday has just crept up on me, and it's largely as a result of the load shedding that we're getting here. It just completely blows you with your mind.
We'll be having that soon, Gary, as well.
Exactly. That's what I'm going to say. You've got to get used to it. I'll give you some hints and tips.
I'm not convinced we will get it. I'm not convinced we will get load sharing.
I don't know. When they keep talking about it, right? There's a reason for that. They keep talking about it to make it normal in your head when it comes to them having to actually do it.
We have so much spare electricity here that around all the power poles, they have Jacob's ladders just burning off the excess. It's wonderful.
The energy is just irradiating away.
In Flash Gordon's in
you guys in New Zealand. You guys in New Zealand are using the excess electricity to kill all the cows because of the methane. Oh God, that's so crazy.
It's gas, isn't it? It's gas is the problem. It's because we're so reliant on gas for our power stations, and there's apparently been someone accidentally blew up a pipeline somewhere in see, that means
accidentally 50 meters of accidentally 50 meters of the pipeline.
Just like someone accidentally who about 3 months ago criticized a world leader in that country accidentally fell out of his apartment window. These things happen all
But he was in good company. And let's not forget that the effects of all that methane in the atmosphere, you won't need your heaters this winter.
No. The ice cap's gone 2 inches.
And by the way, the prices of solar panels are going through the roof.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you've had a lot of companies pull out. LG pulled out. The end of last year, LG pulled out of making panels because there was no money in it anymore.
And apparently they were doing
that very savvy business people.
Talk about timing.
Well, my pricing's just changed. So I'm going from 15p a kilowatt hour to 42p a kilowatt hour basically. That's going to be my change. However, the solar will keep that under control to a degree.
Sure.
And so you're up to 40 odd p now, Mark. Yeah, I'm not. I'm still in until January when it's probably going to be about 90p. You know, I'm looking forward to January because I'm on a variable mortgage and my energy bill expands. No. So what happens is I get strapped up and I was saying to the wife tonight, are we talking £100? £200, £500, £1,000 a month more? I have no idea. I said right now, I do not know if we can afford to live this time in January or February. But
your diseases will take care of that. But here in New Zealand, they put that they reckon the interest rates keep going the way they are. The average household with a standard mortgage will have to pay an extra $500 a week.
Yeah, $2,000 a month. Wow. You know, I know what my mortgage was. You know, I'm still less than it was when I first took it out, interest rate wise. So, I've got numbers in my head. If interest rates get to about, I think my mortgage rate was like 6.5% when I first took my mortgage out. So we're not at that yet. So I know in my head what that number should be, and I'm guessing that will go back to there. That's manageable. it's what happens if it keeps going, and add the energy on cost. I think I held out a little bit on battery and stuff because I did think there may be a glut. I don't think we're going to see prices drop now. I genuinely think now this is it for the next 5 to 10 years. You're seeing fuel settle. Fuel hasn't really pulled back, and petrol's on the rise again as well.
And gas but gas is like, it's actually like 2/3 the cost it was 6 months ago, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's dropping.
The devils. Yeah, the devils.
The problem is they've pre-bought it, haven't they? So they've prepaid this premium for it. So the gas market, the wholesale price has been bought at X price because they were trying to edge their bets. Will it go up or down? And yeah, it's slowly coming down. And if we have a nice winter,
windy winter,
yeah, if we have a good windy, not freezing our butts off winter, that will make a big difference to gas usage. We won't be using what they think. So it's a double-edged sword. If we have a horrible winter, then I can see, it's going to be a real problem. But if we don't, we'll be all right.
Yeah, I think I don't think prices are going to drop. I have been looking into wind, but all of the smaller wind is a complete con. When you look at it, they're saying 2 kilowatt of generation, and it's all like 200 watts. Real output is like 200 watts.
Yeah.
For those that have just tuned in this afternoon, we're talking about the new DJI solar system.
Yeah. They've got any sense, right? If they've got any sense, I'll shill it all day long, right now. If DJI come out with a 10 kilowatt battery and solar system, I can already tell you it's a fantastic product and everyone should buy it.
Imagine what they charge for it.
And every time there was a TFR, your lights would go out.
Yes, that's right. You're not allowed to have your power on. Yeah. Geofence power. Absolutely. But talking of DJI, you, Louis, have got the Avata. You had it there in your hand, and before we started, you were asking hints and tips for how to crack it and how to make it better, were you not? How much have you flown it?
About 2 batteries so far.
And you're flying it with the crazy stick control controller.
I had no other way. Either that or just look at it.
Do you agree, Louis, that stick controller is quite intuitive for new flyers?
Let's just say I'm still struggling with the stupid buttons.
The button locations are a bit weird, and
especially this stupid red button that I always press it twice, no matter what. So,
but I think that they are onto a bit of a winner on that. But yeah, you need the proper remote. Good luck finding one. Yeah, some could argue they've taken it off sale.
I don't know.
They don't know. There's just no stock. There's just no stock. Really?
But there's no stock of a lot of things. There's no stock of the remote. There's no stock of the filters. There's no stock, a bunch of stuff. So, but yeah, no, come on. I did try one when they were launched, and now I just got some good promotion and got myself one of these. So let's play around.
Is that because it can't help falling out of the sky? Are they on sale for that reason?
According
to Ian's videos, that's what they do.
Louis just wants to dive the wind towers. Ooh.
He just wants to. It's a good product. It's solid, isn't it, Louis? It's built like a bomb. It really is.
Obviously, I hate the stupid USB port location, so I got myself a bunch of angle converters of the USB-C stuff. So 90 degrees USB adapters, so I can plug in the adapter and the cable comes up like so, like this.
Yes. So
you plug it.
So the most important part of your review is the cable benders.
So
you try getting that SD card out while the motors are going.
The SD card was a fight. I initially stuck it with a 1 terabyte micro SD card, but threw me away. so I had to find the smaller SD cards. After fighting with my sausage fingers.
Was that from Wish.com? $3, 1 terabyte SD card.
No. So I had to fight with my sausage fingers to get the other card and tweezers and everything to get the stupid SD cards. I believe someone was sleeping in China when they put the location of the USB ports and the SD cards. But in general, no. It looks like a well-finished DJI product. Nothing that we are not used to in the recent years. It goes on the category of the Mavic. In terms of quality, reminds me a lot of the Mavic 3, not the minis, because of the weight, obviously. So they were not thinking on weight considerations here. So in general, it looks okay and flies very, very well. Very, very well. Even with
I'll email you this, Louis. Just to be there straight away. There
$5.
Yeah.
$5 for that.
It's twice as much as I was expecting.
Oh God. Okay. That the $5 includes shipping. But I didn't have any problems with the goggles. The goggles are okay. I got the new ones. No extra pressure on the nose, which I was afraid of, because some time ago I had one of the analog ones that after 5 minutes my nose was twice the size. These ones I can have the goggles for some time. I still have to find out how to watch movies on these goggles, because next time I fly a plane, I'll be watching a movie on the goggles. But yeah, no, it's just a standard product. No extra stuff. You see, the quality, image quality is okay. Nothing excellent or astounding. But I believe it is an honest product. The target consumer, for the people that this thing is targeted, is going to be pleased with this, and that's why they are almost always out of stock. But yeah.
Yeah, this will do what the FPV drone was supposed to do, bring people into FPV. But I'm just doing a video at the moment about the line of sight rule, visual observer requirements, because I can see a lot of people going out for a fly with their Avata on their own, not realizing that they're breaching regulations if they do so.
Yeah. That's one of the problems, because I have to twist my kids' arms to come and act as a visual observer. I tried with my parrot, but my parrot refused to be a visual observer. But yeah.
You could fly in formation. You could fly a lot further.
You can borrow Arnie anytime. He's always available.
Did you see, talking about visual observers and minis, did you happen to see that clip of the mini and some American football stadium? We came right down in and hovered at low level in front of the guys. Had to have been flown from inside the stadium, surely.
Yeah, Sean spoke about that this morning. He had a stream.
Did he?
And he mentioned that.
Yeah, it was that was pretty amazing. I'm surprised they didn't have a go at hitting it out the sky either with a ball or with a bat.
T-shirt or a toilet roll has proven to be effective in the past, but interesting, some of the stuff Sean showed. D-Drone have got the anti-drone gun. Apparently they've sold over 500 units domestically and 50 units internationally. Why are these people so stupid? Why do people waste their money on these things?
Well, yeah, we said that before. It's just wires in a box, isn't it? And with a guarded switch and some flashing lights,
and illegal to use under FCC and Ofcom and any other regulators' regulations.
Especially under FCC, yeah. And what's that? What's he got there? What's he showing off there? I don't know what that is.
I was trying to convince the Steam Deck to control the Avata, but it tells me no. No,
you need the new iPad Pro for that.
Yeah. Hello, Johnny. Hello, Rob. RC Tom, good evening to you. And Mr. Mad was ill, and thank goodness he's back with us.
I didn't get the script
at the moment.
I didn't get the script for today, Gary, but are we talking about the Kamikaze drones in Ukraine and how Kamikaze drone is an oxymoron? And what will this do for people's perception of drones?
Not a lot of plans for starters, so I don't see why this is being leveraged at the drone industry. Everything I've seen is a Model RC plane.
There's something weird on that, because they also say they destroy about 2/3 of the drones that overfly. I was looking just before the live stream the size of those Kamikaze drones. Wow, anti-aircraft systems have come a long way to shoot one of those things, because they're not big, they're small. They're a large wing and not very large. So,
and they don't have a big radar profile, and the heat signature is quite low. So traditional anti-aircraft missiles and things are pretty useless.
So if they say they are destroying in the air 2/3 of them,
toilet rolls and t-shirts.
Yeah, so
I don't think that I don't think they're doing that for 1 second, and I don't think. Because they launched them, what's it, in 5 or 8? I can't remember what they launched in, but it's a number less than 10, but greater than 1.
You're not saying the first victim of war is truth.
You are quite.
Well, don't forget that these things, though, as they launch them, this is the one that when it gets near its target, it starts to circle, doesn't it? And it'll sit and circle for a minute before then it hits its target. It doesn't. It's not like a cruise missile where it just goes straight in and then goes straight on the target. These suicide drones, what they're doing is the Iranian ones anyway. They fly to the area, they circle, and then they hit the target. So there is time if you've got a gun and it's low enough, you could maybe got 2/3 of them.
They've got a high loiter time. They don't always circle, but if they don't, if they can assign the target after it has been launched, and they can send it to an area, leave it in loiter mode, and then assign a target to, and then it will come down and hit it. What I want to know is what's their C2 link for that?
And come on, it's a 2-meter target. Come on, it's. Everyone that shot a machine gun into the air, the bullets don't fly straight. So there's something if they said they're destroying 2/3 of the ones,
they're using an army of freestyle drones. What better way to knock a big drone out of the sky than a little drone?
Yeah,
that's what I'd be doing.
Perhaps that's why the Avatas are out of order everywhere.
Well, you never know.
Yeah, but with the Avata, collateral damage would be too high.
Yeah.
How many of the Avatas would make it through any of the distance? Let me just show you.
One funny thing of the Avata that I noticed on the default parameters, there is no range. Usually on DJI, you can set up the distance range and the height. And the height on mine came by default 500 meters and no limit on the distance from the pilot. So it was wherever it wanted to go. So I believe DJI has to review their default parameters on the firmware.
What I wanted to say about the Iranian thing is 10 years ago, look, September 20th, 2011, 11 years ago, Patrick put this up. We were told stuff. The Iranian university spoke to us a lot on Ali Pahlavi's, etc., about the competitions they were having, and we were slammed for running this. We were slammed, and people said there is no way, because at the time this competition was way more complex than the AUVSI competition. And look at this search and rescue thing going off a long way. Level 5, go off and drop a package over there, etc. So, as has happened in so many times now, I can feel myself going into full rant mode, but as has happened so many times, there's been sort of an exceptionalism about, no, that country will never be able to do that. Those people can't do that, says England, says Europe, says America, whatever. No way those people can do that. And here we are, look, 11 years later, what's the most successful, or one of the most successful ordnance in that theatre of war? An Iranian-made system.
And the Turkish one.
Yeah.
And the Turkish one.
But let's face
the
it,
Turkish one, yes.
Off-the-shelf technology, as I sort of proved 20 years ago, the off-the-shelf technology was available then. Now we're 2 decades further on. It is a pretty trivial task to design something like that fairly crude Iranian drone and to achieve the results they're achieving. And you look at the wreckage, it's hobby-grade servos, it's a 2-stroke, petrol motor. It looks like it's a honeycomb composite construction. It doesn't look that complicated. So I think, in fact, that they thought that they had a apartment block instead of a power station, it's not that accurate either. So it's I gave people the warning 2 decades ago. Nobody listened.
You did. Yeah, I know. Well, if you put, I mean, let's say it's 5 of them, it might be more than that, but they go off together, don't they? So if you put 5 of them at something and they're all within 50 meters of it, there's quite a hefty bit of explosive on it. You put 5 of them in roughly the same area, it's going to make an impact, as has been shown.
I see what you did there.
But yeah, I didn't mean to do it either. And I think the interesting thing is that they're suggesting that they're actually made under license in Russia. That's interesting, I think. But it's certainly changed all of this. And then also we've obviously seen the two shooting downs, one where they put one Mavic or whatever it was on top of another Mavic, and that crashed that one, and the one where another one got in behind the Russian Mavic or whatever it was.
What did it do?
Shot it out with
I don't believe that one. I don't believe that drone fired. Okay. No, I think that was ground ordnance or something, or it might have been rigged. It might even have been.
It was ground ordnance.
Oh yes, so it wasn't the drone firing. Yeah, but
no, it was
the other thing with the Iranian thing, I've seen some commentators speculate that what is Iran getting as opposed to just rubles for providing these drones? Is Russia going to help it with its nuclear program?
Yeah.
As a payback.
Perhaps.
That would be even more dangerous and more worrying from a global situation.
From a global situation, nuclear technology, period. That's the goal. So
as Squishy's saying, why hasn't the RF been fought? That's set and forget. I think you've told it it's a one-way point mission, isn't it? So it's set and forget.
Well, that's why I was asking about the C2 link, because if they do loiter and have their targets assigned dynamically, there's got to be a C2 link there somewhere so that they can pass that targeting information on once they've decided what the target's going to be.
I reckon.
Is that satellite?
No, I reckon if it does orbit, all that orbit will be is confirming the wind when it arrives in the area, and then it will allow it to adjust for the wind.
Yeah, because they'll be using Argopilot.
Orbits. Probably is.
Yeah,
probably using any number of systems, anything it could be using, or their own. But I think that's what it would be doing. Just check the wind and do the last bit.
I mean, all it takes is an account in China. Order your engines in, order your servos, order your airframe. The kit's all there. I'm surprised they had to go to Iran to get all the bits because, as we all know here, all you need is a good account in China. Order 200 or 1,000 engines, order 1,000 airframes, 2,000 servos.
Systems integration is a big thing, though.
The hard bit would be the launch.
Shake and throw.
Just get some marketers onto the job. Product launch.
You wouldn't want to chuck it. You definitely wouldn't want to chuck it if it's got all that.
I think they have a catapult, don't they? Did I see a rocket assist launch?
Yeah, rockets. Yeah, it's Jato sort of a thing.
You could catapult launch them.
There's a vehicle that, remember those Stalin organs that had the it's the same type of launcher. It has several racks with these drones, and they have a rocket propelled something.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they could get Neil to launch them. He's pretty good.
Yes. There's people are saying it's V2 1944 stuff. It is exactly it, and it's more. And those were very much about not only that. It's awful to talk about it, but it's not only the how effective the thing is. It's the sheer terror of it arriving. It's vengeance,
the terror weapon thing.
The vengeance weapon. So it's more around the psychology of that. but that Russia
should have used pulse jets. Should have used pulse jets.
Well, yeah, absolutely for maximum noise. And I can't believe this claimed range of who am I to say?
What
But
I've heard
1,200
is that they do
kilometers.
some
I can't
kind
believe
of
that either.
crazy noise when they are about to. One of the YouTube videos I saw was commenting on the noise that they do when they are about to hit the target.
Okay, so they have built that in then. Oh dear.
There's probably the pilot inside screaming. They are kamikaze drones after all.
Well, or a Stuka whistle.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. What's that? The Horn of Jericho or something on the Stuka? Was that what that was called or something? I don't know. I can't. It's a long time since I looked at that sort of thing.
If it's a 2 meter span, its range can't travel 1,200 kilometers. That fuel tank wouldn't fit in the aircraft, I don't think.
Well, you would get 120 kilometers to 160 kilometers an hour maximum speed. What's the endurance required for that?
Yeah. You're 10 hours in the air. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But that's the sort of figure. I'm sure I've seen 1,200, 1,400 kilometers, something like that, with the idea that they're launching them from within Russia, deep within Russia. Well, if that's the case, then you've got a long time to start tracking them at that speed.
Yeah.
Your shoot downs would be.
I'm looking to see barrage balloons are right along the border with Russia. Barrage balloons, they were the secret in World War II.
If you detect them soon enough, then you would stand a chance of being able to intercept them. If they are taking that long to get to their location, if you've got something for 10 hours in flight, if you could see it.
Yeah, but they got very low radar profile. They're a stealth.
They could use that rocket launcher to do a parabolic flight. So they would launch very high and then coming down.
Just glide in, wouldn't it? Yeah, climb to 10,000, 20,000 feet gently, and then just. Yeah,
I don't think they wouldn't get that high. They've got a 2-stroke petrol motor in them. It wouldn't perform very well at those altitudes.
Only has to get it to 10,000 to start the descent, doesn't it? So get to about 10,000 feet, level out.
But they're saying that the reason they're so hard to combat is they fly very low.
Oh.
They're flying low below, at a level where if you're using ground fire, they're there and gone too quickly for you to get a good lock on them, and they're too low to use missiles or anything else.
In that case, then they definitely can't do 1,200 kilometers. No chance.
No, that's yeah. But did you see that the Ukrainian some app developers have developed? Hey, we've seen this app going past.
Yes.
Which is another there's so many. Well, I suppose the war's a war, isn't it? But there's so many parallels with the Second World War, and the Royal Observer Corps sat on cliff tops and telephoned in raids as they were coming, as well as we had radar as well. But they confirmed, or early radar, they confirmed what was happening and telephoned that in. It's exactly the same sort of a thing, isn't it? But
if they had standard remote ID, you could target the launcher.
Yeah, standard remote.
Oh, by the way, have you guys already discussed, speaking of remote ID, that 80 gigabytes of...
No,
no, we haven't. We're just about to. Well done. Well led in. Very good. Yeah.
80 gigs of 62 units, wasn't it?
That's 60-something units.
60-something. Yeah. That's the surprising bit. It's not the amount of data.
Oh.
Sorry, that was rather unexpected. I'm still getting blasts of things happen to me. Who is that? Whose network?
Where is that database? I want to check if I have.
It was in America. It was in America, and I think. Hang on, I'm opening up another thing, and I can't say another thing, but let me open up another thing, and then I'll tell you a name. An alleged name. Maybe somebody in the comments will have heard of this company. Aerial Armor is who we think it was, or who I think it was, who a couple of people think it was. Aerial Armor. They're a commercial company, and they sell.
Be blocked.
Well, it's not. We have to. It's important to say it's not a DJI data leak. It is a leak. It is a leak of data from a company that has 66 units. But what I find quite interesting is those 66 units then must, unless there's 66 folders with 66 different aeroscopes in it, or it melts it all together somehow. That's what
it's interesting. Is this 66 separate locations over time? So this could be one unit that's been in 66 separate locations.
No, 66 units.
It's 66 units.
66
and are they
units.
renting them out and it happened to be feeding all back into their database? That sounds like a possibility, doesn't it?
Well, this is what we're yet to find out. DJI will make this stream vanish. Yes, it will.
People in the comments want more background on this. They want to know what we're talking
Gary,
about.
Perhaps we should explain the origin of this conversation, because people don't know what happened. But basically, someone found on an AWS Amazon Web Services server an open set of files around 80 gigabytes of data collected by Aeroscope from DJI. So nobody knows from whom and where and when.
Have they actually downloaded this data? Has this data?
Yes,
it
is.
Damn easy. You open up an AWS server and you just FTP to it.
So has Kevin been sent a copy of this data yet?
I can neither confirm nor deny. Let's say it's out there. He's busy. He's busy ruining the day of. I didn't realize there was a military version of Ross, the robot operating system. And
he's upsetting them at the moment. Yeah.
Yes. so he's got way more exciting things. Oh, that's interesting. What's this? Yeah.
Now, a lot of this data was unidentifiable, wasn't it?
Apparently only unidentifiable. If you have the serial numbers of the drones,
yes.
Oh yes. Oh, I see what you're saying by unidentifiable. Yes, but
Ian flew his Avata on the 18th of October.
It wasn't linking back into any DJI database to pull user data. It was simply logging what it was seeing, wasn't it?
Yeah. 66 Aeroscopes, 53 of them in the USA. And that's a bit I find. It's 54 gig, 90 million flights logged. Now, that I didn't want to do the maths on that, but that's a lot of flights, isn't it? Now, if that's
where are all the bodies?
Where are all the bodies? Well, that's the other side. You could use this to prove how.
Come on, Gary. Come on. Each of one of my pilots does around 50 to 60 flights a day. So that's not
90
much.
90 million? Really?
No, 90 million is a lot of flights.
That's a lot of flights.
Yeah.
Now, what's worrisome is who got caught on that dragnet, because clearly that is a dragnet.
But you can also see why people want to run a UTM at $1 an arm. Look at the money.
Yeah.
But that 90 million flights over what period? That I wouldn't.
I know that to me that's the huge number that I didn't. That makes it 80,000 user IDs that were the DJI user ID, but we can't track that back to a name. But you do have the takeoff and landing position. So if you're flying from your back garden, you can start extrapolating, quite a bit of insight onto who it might be.
Yeah.
But it just. What I've said, in what I wrote about it, what my thinking about it was, let's use that remote ID. Let's set up our receiver things. Let's get out to 2 kilometers, because you wonder what the range of the thing is. But anyway, you can read. I'll put this link in the thing. My thoughts on it. But it does. It shows us. It shows us what's to come, doesn't it? With any sort of.
Well, I'm impressed they've sold that many units.
Or to 66 to one company.
Yeah.
So. Yeah.
I really do need to make my Aeroscope video.
Was it? You do need to make your Aeroscope video. So, was that a disgruntled employee? Was it just super slack? You mean
incompetence usually explains most of these things?
You reckon?
Yeah. Come on. Anyone can dump It's just if you don't have enough security protocols on your company data, that's an easy thing to do. So to make it easy, you remove access ACL, so you remove access control lists, and you put it as an FTP anonymous or anonymous password as password, so that everyone can log in and dump the data. And what would you expect? There are bots running around the internet like crazy trying to find these kinds of hidden storage spaces, especially on Amazon and Azure, because piracy is always trying to find places to deposit illegal files. So if they see an open server, let's just use it.
Well, it is interesting. I suppose you've potentially got 60, as you've just described. You've got 66 operators with very insecure passwords. I mean, how would it work? How do we think it works? You've got this Aeroscope, and it connects itself to the database, or does somebody have to dial in?
Yeah, I suspect
there's the data.
DJI's probably got the feature built in, which allows it to feed back into some form of database format.
Yeah.
And they've probably got one of their interns, because like a lot of these companies, they're all startups. They're all, they've probably got one of the young guys. Yeah, what's the quickest way to get this up and running? Just set up a basic server. The data's not, because the data is somewhat anonymous as well. They probably felt less worried about that data, the security of it. It's not got names, addresses. No one will know what this is. Just do that. And we'll sort the rest later, and later never happened.
Well, I am trying to get a hold of a copy of it for us. So we'll, if we get it, I'll let you know, and we'll see what we can do. I think it would be very interesting to see if you could work out.
And we are saying this is untraceable, but this is completely traceable.
Of course, it's traceable.
AWS knows to whom it rented that server. DJI knows the serial numbers, so
I would anticipate in every log for Aeroscope it would log its own data as well, Louis, in it. You know what I mean, in the sense of serial number, location, various things.
Thank you, John, for doing that. That's a much smaller number than I imagined it to be.
It's still a lot of flights per drone.
Come on.
It's still, outside someone's garden.
A lot of flights per drone. Come on, Ian.
1,000 flights per drone.
Yeah, but one of them
less than a month. That's less than a month.
And let's not forget, they also know that they're seeing other manufacturers' airframes as well.
Yeah,
it's not only DJI airframes.
Bearing in mind,
confirmed.
The average DJI battery will only last 100 flights. Bearing in mind the average battery.
But they sell, imagine, let's just say it's New York or another big
that's
city.
Less than a month of one of our pilots.
It's different, your stuff, but on the hobby stuff, generally 100. The FPV batteries lock out on 100 flights.
But what if it's Los Angeles, New York, and Washington?
Yeah.
And what? How many hobby drones would there be in those three cities?
It does make you wonder how
another manufacturer.
DJI have actually
one interesting thing is, what is the time frame of this? So we could know how long were these systems operating, or each system for how long was it operating? True. Was it a week? That's a week of data. That's 1 month of data. 6 months of data. That's the funny thing to look at.
I think it's good numbers for DJI, whichever way you look at it. You know what I mean? That's big number. 90 million is big numbers.
And Sean's absolutely right. A remote ID will save us all. Of this, there can be absolutely no doubt.
I'm sure he's turned into Bruce.
Yeah, I'm sure that Bruce is part of that remote ID data dump that is on DJI. We saw him fly.
Most of those flights were mine. Most of them were mine.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to put it out there again. I think John's numbers there. That surprised me how small that is. And let's say it's 2 years worth of data. You'd soon
500 flights.
You'd soon get there. 2 years. I think, yeah, that is amazing. But you see, and what we should be doing is saying, just look how safe this is. There's 66 units that have been independently monitoring drone flights, and how many people have died in these 90 million flights. So you say 90 million flights for general aviation, I bet the death figure would be quite high.
Well, there's a solution to that: stronger regulation.
Yes, absolutely.
For drones, we've got to get the death toll up.
Yes, we've got to get it down. We've got to get it down. Absolutely.
Yeah, the regulation will definitely improve death figures.
Well,
they tripled them last year alone. If we can only, get them down by half again, we'll be almost back where we started.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the regulation leads very nicely to President Biden signing into effect something to do with AAM. I can't be bothered to remember what it is. But flying taxis are going to be everywhere from next week.
Oh, I saw that video of the eVTOL, and the only complaint of the guy was, it's a bit noisier than I was expecting. And I said, yeah, right.
Noise is a big thing, isn't it? Noises. Look at the wing tests. Everyone's bitching about the noise that the wing drones make, and these eVTOLs will be much louder than that. So, yeah, I don't know how they're going to solve the noise problem. Like they had to can the Concorde basically because of noise at one stage.
We are going to have all those Apaches and all those crazy, even the crazy one that tilts the propellers from US.
The Osprey.
The Osprey, yeah.
I would love to know the noise comparison between a helicopter versus one of these eVTOLs. I would love to, see a proper comparison, because helicopters they beat the air into submission.
But it's a different frequency. It's a much lower frequency. An eVTOL will be screaming like one of those, like a Cinewhoop, like Louis Avata. They make a hell of a racket.
That's the same with this. Come on, I got scared the first time. Not this one, the one I tested. The moment I managed to put the motors running and flying, I went, what the hell is this?
Has anyone seen the speeder videos still going? They're racing. That thing.
And they've just
got on high doing it now.
They hound round to. Hang on a minute. I've just got to test something here. No, the paint is dry here. Okay. It's so dull,
but it looks inherently dangerous still.
Lexi Jensen.
It's FPV. There's no one in them.
Yeah, well, that's what Lexi Jensen's a female FPV pilot. They've got her on board now because they're piloting them remotely. And so they're training her to fly a helicopter so she can get the certification to actually fly the speeder from inside. And you have to get a helicopter license, apparently, to fly one of those things.
Bruce, did you see how all over the place? I watched her video and I was like, one of them was buckarooing, and I'm sitting there going, that's not safe.
I would not be in it. I would certainly not be in it. Unless they had Frisco radio. R9 or something, that'd be all right.
Yeah, but where's the flight controller?
That would be an upgrade, wouldn't it?
It was doing that.
Yeah, they tune the PIDs after the race.
Well, and then in the first, I didn't bother posting the second race they had because the first race was boring enough. But I put it in there just to, as a timestamp for us, just to remember in the future. But when the commentators saying, "What an incredible overtaking maneuver," and the guy went, only flying FPV, but he flew under the other one and the other one started descending. It's like that would actually be, that's not how air races happen. And here we are in Nevada, Reno, there was that big crash, wasn't there, last week? And it's like you're going to kill people, but it was so slow. That's what I thought. It looked so pedestrian.
Even the Rocket Racing League from years and years ago would have been more exciting.
Rocket Racing League, bring it on, bring it on. Sean again makes a good comment. The VTOL's got to fly long enough to get a noise comparison. We are. My big fear with all of this is we're going to get some crazy regulations to accommodate all of this, and no one's ever going to. We're not going to they're not going to be useful for us. So we just share this other thing.
Well,
that leaked information, though, that really points to why this is all happening. Imagine if you were charged $5 for each flight, 90 million flights times $5. And this just just with the stuff that was being covered there. The potential to make money out of monetizing this airspace is huge. And Amazon know that, Google know that. They have their business plan. They're prepared to spend whatever it takes to justify the existence of a UTM by delivery drones or AAM or whatever. This is all a means to an end. They're trying to create a problem that they will be able to step in and solve, and it'll cost us all.
And last October the 14th, EASA has started on the noise guidelines. So back to those VTOLs, they're going to have to comply with this, and they're not going to be able to. Well, they might. I said that, but
they can. They have to increase the size of the propellers, and then reduce the number of propellers, and then to compensate for all of that, they have to do variable pitch propellers. Oh, we found an helicopter.
Hang on a minute. Let's reinvent the helicopter. Exactly.
Well, 600 kilos is peanuts, because if you want an air taxi, you've got to be able to carry 5 people.
No, come on. That's a London taxi. That's a London taxi. Come on. You should go to some places in the world.
600 kilos with those batteries on board, be able to do a flight time. Remember, you've got 100 kilos in your pilot already. So
they're not going to put
they'll be pilotless, mate.
Passengers is another 100 kilos each. So there's 500 kilos.
No, they're not. They're 80 kilos. They're 80 kilos under passenger carrying rules. You'll just make them 80 kilos. But of course, that's not how the world works. They're not 80 kilos, but
no, because I'm not 80 kilos. I'm slightly more than 80 kilos. Just a little bit. I'm not too much over. Only 12 kilos.
Don't worry. You pay. You do like on an airline. You pay 2 tickets. You are oversized.
Oh, thanks.
Aviation issues start with motorized, quickly abandoned. I wonder why. Yeah, it is. Again, it's a lot of reinventing the wheel. But I feel sorry for delivery drones, because they are lumped in with urban air mobility and AAM, and I think they're going to get inappropriate regulations. Interesting to note this week that FedEx has given up on its ground robots. So that's Amazon and FedEx have given up on their ground robot programs. So that if those don't work, the chances of flying deliveries working, small flying deliveries working within an urban environment,
guys, we only get flying ground robots working perfectly the day you eliminate people from driving cars. That's when you have self-driving cars working,
Tesla,
and you can put the delivery robots on the street.
Or you have a city like Milton Keynes in the UK, which was designed around having subways and walkways and look, we're on a think flight. All the fun is being squeezed out of the world. God, the sort of fun that would involve standing on some sort of flying wing thing, being towed.
And I have it in a bottle here,
and then falling off it. Think flight. What an honor to have you here. And what a video that is. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you need to dive over to his channel now. Some amazing creations coming out of there.
And his channel's called XJet. Go and look.
XJet. Oh, there we go. Yeah. And his other channels, RC Model Reviews. That's it. That's the ones. Yeah, no, amazing stuff. The fun being squeezed out. It is, isn't it? Really,
I'm squeezing it back in though. I've just started my series of videos for regulators, which I will be pointing out.
The thing is, listen, we started this as an hobby. Some of us make it as a professional endeavor, and in the end, we are all becoming almost lawyers, interpreting regulations and rules and discussing regulations and rules. Come on, I didn't go to law school. I'm an engineer, so please let us operate the stupid drones. We have a track record of safety. I'm almost getting on the same bandwagon as Bruce's. Hey, we've been here for years and years, and we didn't kill anyone yet.
But
please,
track records count for nothing in the world of what if.
Yeah. In the end, we are getting we come on. Even on this our small chats that we take this every week, how many times have we been discussing laws and regulations? We've taken all the fun of this. Come on, laws and regulations.
Oh, it was us. We took all the fun.
Yeah.
Look, what's also interesting, did you guys see the UK's Air Accident Investigation Board on that flyaway jet?
Yes. Yes.
So an jet flew away
by a train.
It landed before it got hit, but even that managed not to kill anyone, which is astounding.
Yeah, and I thought
it didn't cause any major damage either.
British Rail, not whatever the railway people are called now, said it was actually very low risk. It's not a great idea, but it was very low risk. I thought that was also very interesting as well. They said that. Launder money, unfortunately, to launder money, that is going to be. It's going to be in America. It was always. I forgot what that UTM was called. Aircrap. That's right. It was always aircrap, and that was their model, was to monetize every single little widget they can. And as Bruce has correctly said, 90 million flights detected by 66 Aeroscope systems. Yeah, at $1, at 50 cents a flight, at 10 cents a flight. I mean, it's a stack of money, isn't it? If you're in the pay chain somehow.
Especially when you consider that drones are coming and lots of them.
And lots of them, absolutely.
How long have you been saying that, Bruce? How long have you been saying loads are coming? Come on.
Ever since the judge said it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. It
makes you realise how can we get justice? How can we get sensible attitude to regulation when the people who make the decisions in the courts are so misinformed?
Yeah. And the people representing us at the meetings are the wrong people in a lot of these cases.
We need recreational representation on those ARCs or AAAs or whatever they're called now, but we don't have any. We really don't. Despite what people say, we have no hobby representation. We are the biggest users of this airspace. We have more flights than anybody else. We have zero representation.
I think I'd almost go so far as to say, in fact, I will say there's no commercial representation either for the average commercial user. Yeah, there's commercial representation for Wing and Amazon and whatever, but not for the people pounding the hard yards, doing the surveys, doing this, doing that.
I think Vic and Kenji are the representatives for that part of the market.
Yeah, but don't forget that the likes of Google and Wing or whoever the big boys are, what they do is, as soon as there's an association, what they do is they join that association and they suddenly wipe out all the little guys because they're going to pay the big money to the association to put forward what they want. And all the other 200 odd members that are all small guys, they suddenly got stuffed down the back of the sofa because the association wants to keep the big boys happy and therefore will push their agenda more than it will the guys that have just been shot behind the sofa.
Look at the way it is. We have a problem, and the problem is called DJI. DJI would be the biggest manufacturer that could have a voice on all of this, but DJI is Chinese and has some issues on their own to solve. So they cannot be a voice for the hobby people. So, and that leaves us with who? It's not the Amazons, or the Googles. Those are not on the recreational market. And the DJI would be a fantastic spokesperson for the hobby, but it's Chinese.
But they used to when Brendan was there. Remember he put that submission for the network remote ID thing, and he pointed out how many flights are made and how safe this all is and so forth. He was in favour of RID, but he has pointed out that there's, he presented the evidence, and so they kicked him off. That's what happens if the evidence you produce doesn't suit the narrative. You get kicked out of the committee.
Hey, if it was a New Zealand company, an Australian company, a European company, or an American company, I think they would be respected in a different way. And that is one of the problems. They have the majority of the hobby market on drones, So they would be the ideal spokesperson, but the problem is they cannot be the spokesperson from their origin.
No, they've been disenfranchised by the bans on DJI purchases and that sort of stuff. They're deliberately sidelining them because they probably realize we don't want a potent force representing the people that we're trying to get out of the airspace.
Have you noticed that I never believed the 78% market share figure anyway, for lots of reasons, but I won't go into that. But I've seen a few articles in the last 2 weeks where they said DJI formerly had 78% of the business. They've now got 55. There's a narrative that it's changed.
I don't believe that. I don't
believe that either. I'm not saying I believe it, but that narrative is being put out there that they've gone from large, and the narrative is driving it towards the blue SUS program is so successful that it's picking up the slack. And I'll still maintain that DJI sell more units per day than the blue SUS program sells in an entire year. So but there's what I'm trying to say, there's shenanigans in the messages being put out there. Imagine, I mean, the media would never do that, obviously, but there's new stories being told now, new history being written.
It's crazy, isn't it? People. It's just a clickbait headline. There's no way that all of a sudden DJI is going to fall that far from grace. They make the best integrated kit out there in the industry, near as damn it. I can't think of anything else. That any company that makes anything as good as even the M300. What a cracking bit of kit. You got the M30T, the M30. You can have the Mavic 3. Show me another company that comes close.
Gary, we have to do an announcement. This episode of the podcast is not sponsored by DJI, although it looks like.
Hey, if there was another company that could give me a drone that could match half their stuff, I'll be impressed. You know what I mean? But there isn't. It just doesn't exist, really, does it, out there, that you buy off the shelf, integrated so well and works so well. Where is this other kit?
Well, I've got that little Autel and I really like it, but it is missing the automated mapping. It is missing lots of things.
No, but
I don't know if the bigger ones have that.
Hey, you're going down the wrong direction. Okay, you bought a toy drone and you want to do professional work with it.
Yes.
If you want to do professional work, get the big brother. Get the Evo 2.
What I've noticed, have you noticed is that Autel are orange, bright orange. Yep, DJI was smart enough to make the Mavic a grey colour, so it blends into the cloudy skies over Ukraine. They did this years in advance. How did they know?
Conspicuity grey, that's cool. It's air power grey. How did they know? And not only that, they're clever enough to have the counter system as well, which they sell. That's the clever part. Sell the thing and the detection.
They were demonstrating their drone in a box solution live in US. So apparently it works. At least that one worked. So let's hope that the rest will work too.
Yeah, the ones I've seen in real life are mammothly complex and massively like I've made it, which is a bit of a problem. Because they're sort of slapped together and relying on different sensors.
Autel also has one.
Yeah, I've not seen either of those, but I've seen some other ones.
I've seen the Autel one. And I only saw the video of the DJI one. Got my attention because they were demonstrating outside a movie set. So it was with real people around and flying with real people around. So the chances of having CG applied to that video was
pretty high,
a little less probable.
But but in Hollywood it'd be high. But in your trade, in the inspection trade, having that drone in a box would be quite handy, wouldn't it? or not?
The capital investment of such a system would not be easily, would not have a good period of recouping the costs, because those systems are expensive. The drone is a specific drone. It's not a standard M30. It's a specific M30. So, and the problem is, okay, imagine a wind park. A wind park can be 50 kilometers. Okay, so you to have one drone to do the survey of the park, you would have to have several of those stations, and at $40,000, $50,000 complete system, that would be an investment that would not be easy.
Okay, well, fair enough. So it's too
the money.
expensive.
It's the money. It's the money, my friend. End of
I
the
would
day,
have thought you would have been one of the target audiences. So that's interesting. Be nice to get some other people in from other infrastructure inspection sort of companies and see what their thoughts are. So almost suggesting there's no market.
End of the day, the problem with drones is they are for industrial stuff, and these commercial drones, the M300s, such. The problem is range, autonomy. So it's always a problem. That's why the hydrogen the problem is there is no ready to use drone that can fly long enough with an hydrogen battery. Well, you can go to Foxtech. Yes, you can go to Foxtech. But people don't want to go to Foxtech to do serious work. That's a shame, because the quality is dependable, and with DJI you get a more consistent quality. I'm not saying a better quality. I'm saying at least it's more consistent.
Mitchell, I said a name earlier. I'm going to go back and find out, and you can nod or not, virtually nod or not nod, Mitchell. But I had a name. It's going to take forever to come up, but I'll find that in a second. So maybe that's oh look, we've gone over the hour. So let's do. What else have we seen? Oh, what's ding ding? What else have we seen that's of any interest in the world in this last week? Nothing special. Aerial armor. How's that name strike you? Aerial armor. There we are. He's typed that as I've said it. So, you've said it. Other people have said it. I wonder if it was them with their 66 aeroscopes. That is interesting. Well, at the end of the day, that is a name that's come to me multiple times now. So maybe the dear community, we all know, and hopefully Kevin will get that file soon, and we'll have a good chance to pore over it and see just what we can rejoin. Very interesting. All right, we've gone over the hour. We have nothing more to say. Ian is alive and well, which is great. We were very honored.
But we're hoping for an improvement.
Well, I made it through, so
you did.
Yes, probably be live again Sunday. So
good. We look forward to your live. Don't forget Geeks channel, and don't forget to watch Think Flight Falling Off. You've seen his channel, haven't you? Everyone's seen his channel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you must have seen it. You've seen his channel, Bruce. You've seen his channel. Watch him fall off his hoverboard thing, whatever he calls it, from a great height. And he's designed quite a few FPV systems, FPV aircraft, famous ones, that has a series at the moment on improving the efficiency of his car with aerodynamic effects, which is quite amusing as well. So,
look, there's a drone pilot in the comments.
Is there a drone pilot? No, we don't have those. We don't allow those here. We don't allow, and if you are new to the channel, we don't allow common sense. There's many.
Well, we've got 2 viewers now.
We've got 2 viewers now.
Oh,
we've got rules and regs, and I'm ranting on. So I'm going to go. Cheerio, dear viewer, wherever you are in the world. Thanks very much for joining us. We'll see you again 2100 GMT next week, chaps. Thank you very much. Look after yourselves. Be careful out there. Bye bye. Take care. Oh, lots of messages. Cheers now. Bye bye. Oh, 2 clicks.